Great. So what I really want to focus on, like the examinations that you have cracked, SSC JE, written, obviously all the written you have qualified, CIL, NLC, RCF, UPPSC, ISRO, OIL, IRNL.
Yeah,
These are different companies, different pattern of questions. Like some will have aptitude, this kind of aptitude, some will have this kind of general studies, some will have Hindi, some will not have this part, some will have different kind of technical part. How do you
yeah,
deal with it? All the examinations I think will be in less than somewhere around 2 to 3 months of interval, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How
Between October to December,
hmm.
all the examinations happen.
So how do you deal with it? Because we are expecting that we are going to see more and more of these like separate
Mhm.
examinations in future. So
Yes. All the PSs are now,
hmm.
trying their own
Hmm.
examinations and
Hmm.
all. They are not repeating grade
Hmm.
as much now
Yeah.
as they were doing 5 years before.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So if I'll tell you, like, if most of the PSC exams, like, if basically I'll talk about
Hmm.
CIL, NLC, RCSL,
Hmm. Hmm.
and OIL also I will
Hmm.
count.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they are basically the same. They are not very much different. There is no the syllabus is very much same.
Hmm.
But in RCFL, I remember one thing. They have sectional timings for all the parts.
All right.
Like in other exams, like in RBI, they have sectional
Hmm.
timings.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you have to approach every section differently.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So you have to proper knowledge of the examination before the examination, that whether they have sectional timings or not.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, like, if we'll talk about basically the PSC
Hmm.
examinations, so there are two parts. The one is the technical part, and second one is the non-technical part.
Okay.
So, for the technical part, I would say that you have to take every examination very differently and uniquely.
Hmm.
So, you have to analyze the syllabus, because sometimes what happens, there are some topics which may not be in the regular GATE or ESE syllabus, but the particular PSC will be
Yes.
asking the questions from that
Hmm.
particular topic, like ISRO.
Hmm. Hmm.
They
Hmm.
have compressible flow, but we don't really
Hmm.
get into compressible flow
Correct.
in general.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So you have to really see the syllabus, and you have to, if the previous questions are available, like for CIL it was available but not really helpful in this
Hmm.
in this examination.
Hmm.
So you can go through the PYQs. So it will give a good idea about the level of questions they are asking.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then I think you have to with the MCQ part need a quite much strategy that is very much different from GATE examination, because GATE examination needs depth.
Hmm.
You have to practice a lot, but in PSC examination you don't need to practice a lot, like in that sense, questions, and you have to get to solutions
Okay.
and then
Yeah, because
calculation
it
part.
is not based a lot on accuracy and speed, correct? Because if you
Accuracy,
know the
yeah,
answer, you know the answer. Is it?
you know the answer,
Hmm.
yeah, if you know, you know.
All right.
So basically you have to cover range.
Hmm.
So you have to cover the range. So
Okay.
solve as much MCQ as you can. Like I solved around, if I'll tell you, 20,000 MCQs before, the NLC examination.
From
So
those books that you mentioned, right? R.S.
yeah,
Khurme,
from those
R.K. Jain
books.
and all.
Yeah,
Okay.
and with multiple revisions, because
You
you
you do
don't do
one
multiple
thing.
revisions.
You send me those books links and all. I'll share it in the
Hmm.
description box for people who are preparing for PSUs
Definitely,
and all. Okay.
definitely.
All right.
That will be very much helpful for PSU
You
aspirants
said somewhere
basically.
around 25,000 questions, is it?
Yeah, I solved,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is like huge
from three
number, which
four
will
books.
give you good broader perspective of okay, all these questions that can come, I've gone through it. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and
So you have to cover the range. So all these MCQs will help you a lot. Then ESC and all. So I think in this PSC examinations also the practice, but in a different way is needed. Not like GATE examination.
all right.
You really need to mug things up, because some are factual things,
Yeah.
some are definitions, some are very kind of things. You have to revise it multiple times. You
Yes.
can categorize the MCQs. Like I used to categorize them in basically three parts. So like it helps me a lot in revising. What I can't able to do 20,000 MCQs again and again.
Hmm.
In the next revision I can do only like 5,000 MCQs. So I have to categorize.
Hmm.
So categorization really helped me a lot
Hmm.
in revising those things. So categorization you can do for the
How did you
technical
use
part
to
of the
categorize?
examination.
Explain a little bit. You said that you categorized into three part.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. First thing, like if I talk about the number one,
Hmm.
it is basically the questions which are very basic.
Hmm.
Like, I know them already. I know them.
Hmm.
So I take them with a separate sketch pen. Anything you can do, anything what you want. You can make a something, some kind of symbol,
Correct.
and you can use anything. So and the third thing is those questions which are really difficult, I didn't know already. So I have to, solve them again, again. In the second revision, I have to do it.
All right.
And the second type of question are those which, if I'll have time in the next revision, then I will do it. Otherwise, I'll leave it,
Oh.
because that is something that I know partially. But at that time when I was solving that particular question, I was not into it.
Okay.
So if I'll have time in future, I'll solve it again.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll not solve it.
All
So
right.
you can mold it in your way. You can add some kind of innovation, and you can do this thing. Categorization is really helpful.
Correct, correct. There are different ways of categorization. I
Yeah,
explained in a way of star mark questions. What you're trying to say is also similar, but little bit different according to you. And
yeah, you can mold.
yeah, and when the number of questions are so huge, then obviously you'll have to take care of that. Okay, so you basically went through a lot of questions and you must have seen this, that once you have solved that broad spectra of questions, then it is working for all the PSUs, correct? When it comes to the technical part. Okay, now the only thing that is left is the non-technical part, and in that most of the examinations will be having aptitude. Maximum will be having general studies as well, correct?
Yeah, they'll be asking general
So
studies.
when it comes to general studies, all the PSUs have different kind of domain of general studies, or all similar only?
Basically, general studies is something an engineer who is preparing for technical based examinations can't really prepare holistically.